Only attack on me. But Jayden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going.
What you talking about? Is Jayden place? See me up to the time, you know, a cartel. I represent for Jayden Chase. We spray them face on the AK rays. See me up to the time, you know, the Gaza station.
Yeah, man, move settings, viewers and subscribers. And we no need no ladder. Gaza Nation, when you find the Gaza station, welcome to the channel, Jayden Chase. And yes, we are bringing another new and yes, exciting reason for the topic of dancehall and entertainment. Remember, man, I remind you now, but click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and also leave a like, a comment, and yes, bust a share on the blog in truth. Now, viewers and subscribers, recently, Mr. Buchanan made a statement on Beyond the Headlines, and he uncovered and exposed a situation that has taken place not only currently with those being detained, but also with Vybz Kartel himself, viewers and subscribers. And I am of the belief that that is why he's being blasted now by the JcF. Not for his statements about the requirements of becoming a JcF member, because I think that is the requirement. That is the standard CXC amount that you would need to fill a request form to become a member. Now, he said the Constitution, as we know, is the dance of all dance. And what was certainly put forward to the court today, and the court's decision, is that you cannot take away the liberties of the citizens of this country because you are acting on the whim of uneducated members of the JcF with their 5 CXC subjects. Unacceptable. He said, I am very unapologetic about saying that because all the information that the ministers flick with their pen comes from the foot soldiers who sometimes have personal vendettas against these young men. And we cannot turn ordinary men and women into criminals. No. Did you catch that part of the statement? Personal agendas against these young men. No. In Vybz Kartel's situation, it was not only uncovered that not only were there JcF members who did unscrupulous things to present what they titled and packaged as evidence in the initial trials. They tampered with the phones owned by the individuals. They tampered with the way the evidence was presented when they did classify it as evidence. And it is also been uncovered that the DPP was aware that these things were taking place and did nothing. Not only did she not disclose that the evidence was tampered with while they were trying to retrieve said evidence, she did not tell them that evidence was removed from the devices. What I want to know is that when evidence is found, the prosecution has not just the right, it's not the right. Defense has the right that prosecution must present that evidence to them so that they can be aware of their findings. It's not a secret thing. You can't just show up and say, well, look what we have here. No. This is not how a court proceeding is handled. They never do it. There were clear vendettas and agendas against Vybz Kartel, as there is currently against these young men and women. Now, he's pointing to the fact that sometimes it's the very laws of the nation that are pushing these people into the lifestyle that we are saying that we are against. Because no one asks for poverty. No one asks to be jobless. No one asks to be destitute. These are situations that people are facing. They did not will it on themselves. And for the very few who, some people can point to them, can say, you're in the rich and you do that with fee money, and that's why fee situation is what it is. That is not the truth for the majority. For the majority, they've never seen $1 million. Some have never seen 500,000. Upon blessings from God, they must survive. No, to say that just because you're a fan of the community, just because you make that kind of music, just because your friends were involved in that, were not are. Because enough people change their life and society refuse to acknowledge that. Yeah. Whole heap of people have changed their lifestyle. Remember, certain situations that individuals are caught in were not by choice or design. They were the situations that you were faced with. And because we don't plan to heal, we don't plan to bow to the system, we do what we have to do to survive. Make it through. Keeping our head held high. And some people will classify it as, you know what I mean, being outlaws. And then being dubbed as such, you are treated a specific way. And if you're from a community where they have dubbed that these set of people are from or reside, then you know how you will be treated, even if you're a person who works a 9 to 5. So dancehall artists can't stop and just look and say, them say that about Vybz Kartel, but they never say that about me. Them not say it about you yet. But remember, hardcore dancehall lyrics that started with Vybz Kartel. Hardcore dancehall lyrics did not start with Vybz Kartel. Remember, King Yellow still say him of the first raunchy song. So what I say? King Yellow was never put on trial for the things that he was singing about. Vybz Kartel is being put on trial for the things that he's singing about. How we see it is because what he was convicted for, they could not prove. So it is clear that everybody convicted based on what they know of Vybz Kartel. What you know about Vybz Kartel? Vybz Kartel is not a person. Would you believe? Vybz Kartel is the stage name of an individual. Even though he has been quoted as saying is a blurry line between Adidja Palmer and Vybz Kartel. He was clearly saying that yes, Vybz Kartel as an artist does sometimes express the opinions of the individual Adidja Palmer. When him talk about things we are going on in country, of course that these are concerns for a citizen. So as a citizen, you have time and teacher will say, yo, emergency, certain things are going around here. Things tough around here. We're not doing for the ghetto around here. Two parties but at the same sad song them a play. Yes, we can say there's a very blurry line there between Vybz Kartel and Adidja Palmer. Now these concerns are clearly concerns of a citizen, and we know Adidja Palmer is the citizen, the father, as well he said. Vybz Kartel is the artist, of which he has fame and prominence. The only way that is the platform, Vybz Kartel is the platform that Adidja Palmer has. So if him speak in mind, it has to be released to Vybz Kartel, even though his interviews are very prolific too. You know what I mean? His interviews are very, very prolific. So I will say this to viewers and subscribers. Mr. Buchanan, one thing we know for sure, you are a lawyer that is acknowledging not only the do's and don'ts with what takes place in the law. Because we know said the prosecution, even the officers, made huge offenses against the same law in which we have employed them to defend and protect. Yet they have gone against it. However, I will say this too as well. You also look from the humanitarian standpoint of what going on. Because people's rights are being, we can't say better choice of words than the rights are definitely being violated. On this basis of the fact that these individuals, even in a Tammany's part of case, they wanted him for questioning. Them question him now about a week and couple of days. Good while now. And him still there, even though they don't have no more questions for you. So even though there's no need for you to be in the facility, they have you in the institution. Same way. Institutionalize your mindset. I get you to adapt to living behind the rail. Why? Why? Because there's a clear agenda against what is going on. You have to remember, dancehall artists, think about it. On the production side, and we can still say even majority of the producers too are still from the inner city, but majority of prominent dancehall artists overall, are from the inner city. Artists are sometimes the voices of their respective communities. If that type of shoes they are wearing, if that are the style of dialect, if I see them talk, if not so them dress, whatever the case be, the artists from these communities are sometimes our windows to those communities to see what life is like in those sides or those parts of the island. And sometimes they don't like the fact that certain artists highlight certain situations from that side of the island. It is no surprise that artists from Mobile are always in the limelight, not for their music, but just for the fact of their communities where they are from. Because Mobile are basically the tourist capital. The North Coast are basically the tourist capital of Jamaica. And These artists are singing about lifestyles that, remember, we in a Kingston, we don't grow up on the North Coast. We might visit, spend summer, spend holidays there, but you know, other some days, weeks at best. And then we return to our place of origin. So we don't know what life is really like there when there's not a holiday, on a day-to-day basis, on a Sunday-to-Sunday basis. These artists are telling us that we not live much different from money, you know. Yeah, I just chop it there, go and chop another thing, man, chopper. And me not feel that them like it. Me not feel that them like it. So they're putting the squeeze and dancehall music and all associated with it. Whether you're a lawyer defending a prominent dancehall artist, or just a stakeholder, a producer, or an artist yourself. But I said the one called Jayden GcF. I don't know if you agree with the statements, viewers and subscribers. Yeah, man, now move settings, fam. And we don't need no ladder. And my sentiments for you and yours are going to live, love, and prosper until we reason again.